Hello and welcome. It is so good to have you here. My name is Gemma Lonsdale and I am here to help you create a life that you love and to really step into your personal power. Today I wanted to actually read you a short proverb from my book, Wisdom, Proverbs for Today. And I wanted to read that to you and talk a little bit more about that really. And I also have Chester Bennington with me. I'm pointing to this part because this is the side that he typically comes in. I just said that and he's scooched round to this side and he's moving back. Chester has been with me for a number of years and he has been a source of inspiration for me on my journey. He has brought me through wisdom and he has really been my connection to God, my connection to the divine. He has helped me so much along my own personal path in terms of building my own confidence in myself, choosing myself, learning how to really embrace and expand upon my own self-worth. And also he's helped me with my confidence in front of people and stepping into a more public facing role as well. And my confidence, he's saying, about how I receive information through the interpretations and level of accuracy and everything. So he is going to be joining us with a little bit of insight and inspiration as well. Now, I wanted to read you something. I was going to pick randomly, and before I actually started to hit record, I found something and I just thought actually that feels really fitting for today. So the proverb is, it's expect the unexpected. Life is for living, not for planning every eventuality. That's an impossible task. Instead, weigh up your choices, make a decision and trust that things will unfold as they should. Follow your heart and you won't go far wrong. Your soul will guide you towards your destination, but the journey will be filled with highs and lows and twists and turns and moments that take your breath away. That's what you're here for, to chase your dreams, to feel joy, to experience sorrow and to embrace it all. Every emotion serves a purpose, shaping you into who you were meant to be. The reason that sort of feels a little bit more poignant for me at the moment, if you follow me on any of my other social channels or on Substack, for example, or you may have seen it here as well on YouTube, I have just found out that my cancer has returned for the third time. So it's breast cancer, which is obviously like really devastating to hear, especially whenever I didn't expect it. I wasn't really expecting that to come to fruition. And I did feel a little bit frustrated that I have Chester with me and I have this connection to the divine. I bring all of this information, these prophecies and predictions and wisdom and guidance through, and yet that really sideswiped me. I was walking into a part of my life which I was really believing was filled with all of this positive stuff, and cancer certainly wasn't one of the things that was on the menu for me. That's not one of the things that I had expected to be dealing with. But we all have things like that. We all have challenges. I'm not saying that it's necessarily cancer for you, but we all have life's challenges that just crop up out of the blue that we haven't prepared for, that we're not anticipating, that really sideswipe us. But if we were aware that bad things were around the corner, and I understand obviously from Chester's perspective, it was an element of protection. They didn't want me to worry, but they also wanted me to get used to dealing with something that is a little bit off the cuff that I'm not expecting. And, it's hard. It is really, really hard to deal with the unexpected things, even when it's good things sometimes as well. We have this tendency to grip quite hard. We want to be able to plan our lives in advance. We go to school, we get a good degree, we're going to get a job as a doctor or a dentist or whatever it is that we might be going on to do. And then we're going to have a nice big house. We're going to have, a couple of holidays a year and take lots of amazing trips and a couple of kids. And, we do plan things out very logically and very like this is the fantasy that we're going to create. But life isn't always like that. And even yesterday evening, whenever I was walking through the hospital, I had to go and have a scan done. And I'm thinking to myself, gosh, there are so many people who are so much worse off than me, who have been dealt a hand where maybe their kids have been sick their whole lives and, spent in the hospital. There are people there who have been paralyzed and have lost the use of their body. And yet we still find the ways to actually move forward. And it's all about trying to create a life that we love, trying to create a life that has more meaning, trying to develop like a more stronger connection with ourselves, our internal parts. And whenever I talk about that, I mean our spirit, our emotions, our divine connection as well. I wasn't always, one of these people that had faith. That only came about with my journey. But I can tell you one thing, that whenever I started to have faith and I developed such a strong connection and faith that everything was in the hands of God, and I had my spiritual gifts start to come to me, I felt blessed. No challenge that I've ever experienced has ever really taken me away from that. It's only ever enhanced it. And yes, there have been times that I've questioned it. There have been times when I have doubted, but ultimately every challenge that I have had has actually enhanced my life. We will have times of good in that as well. We will have, all of those really good things that come onto our path. But as Chester is just saying to me here, the important part is to not grip too hard. Don't become too attached to certain outcomes or to certain things happening, because that almost has an effect of where it causes things to block. Like I'm seeing, if you have this really strong attachment to a certain outcome with something, there's an obstacle that comes in between you and that thing that you want. So it's an energetic block. That's how he is describing it here to me. So whenever we have that, it makes it very, very difficult for things to just come towards us with ease. The challenges, whenever they occur, he's showing me a challenge being like a wall that is dropped down in front of you on your path. And all of a sudden you're in this confined space and you can't move past this wall. And it has a way of causing you to pause and to turn inwards and do a little bit of inward reflecting in order to figure out, okay, what is the best direction I want to move in here? What is the path that I want to take? What do I need to learn from this? What is this trying to teach me? We can ask all of ourselves those questions, and then it's about figuring out how to overcome that hurdle. So whenever we have challenges, they're always for our benefit. They always help us towards things. And I talked about this actually this week. In fact, I recorded a YouTube video a few weeks ago. Cancer has been one of the greatest gifts in my life. And although I was really hoping for an easier challenge than cancer the third time round, I really, truly believe that the things that come to us that help enhance our life in this way, even when they come to us as cancer or death or something like that, they always come in order to help us enhance our life if we use it in that way and we open our heart to how it's trying to maneuver us and trying to help align us with ourselves and with a higher power. Does that make sense? Whenever I had cancer the first time, it was like my whole world was falling apart, and I was so focused on the external parts of me that I just couldn't bear the idea of change and losing my hair, my breasts changing. It was so hard to actually deal with all of the physical aspects of cancer. And it really brought me through a journey. It was actually what triggered my spiritual awakening. So it brought me through this journey of really figuring out that actually it's not all about the material world. And again, I didn't want to give up my nice house, my car, my way of life. I really wanted to continue on forward just in the path that I was on. I didn't want to make any changes, but that path wasn't serving me. So through my treatment with cancer and my experience with cancer, it has brought me down this path of spiritual awakening developing this divine connection, developing my spiritual gifts, stepping into my role as a prophet, and it has been transformative. That's all I can say. It has been transformative, and it has had more positives with it than it has had negatives. The second time I felt was just a bit of a breeze. I was just like, okay, roll on, let's deal with it. And on I went. And I really embraced the changes and I dealt with it. It's still heartbreaking, but not as bad as the first. And now that it has happened again, I'm very much embracing the journey because I know that it is going to bring me more blessings. It is going to enhance my faith. It is going to enhance how I view myself and how I feel about myself. And there's been such a shift in this time period from 2018 to today in how I view myself, how I see myself worth, how I value myself. The idea of dating whenever I didn't have any hair or, I had like my breasts look different, all of that the first time round was horrific. I just couldn't, I was thinking to myself, gosh, how could anybody love me like this? How can anybody want to be with me like this? Whereas now I actually know that the right man for me will see me, like it will be my essence that he is drawn to, and it actually won't matter to him if I have a full head of hair or if I'm missing one breast or whatever it might be. It won't matter. It won't make any difference because he will see me for who I am, my essence, my soul. And that's only because I have seen it in myself. I have learned how to see it, and it has been then reflected back towards me from the outside world. So although that is sort of, I've went off topic a little bit with that, but as we start to really embrace who we are and we let go of needing to control everything, life can actually show us that there are amazing things and little nuggets of gold in every experience we have. We're not just going to experience those in the good times, we're also going to experience those in the more challenging times. And there's always hope, there's always a way to embrace that challenge and turn it around in order to help us in some way in our life. If we're able to use it like that, it can be a way to accelerate our growth, really. And I can tell you that whenever I've been on my spiritual journey, it has been really hard. The healing, the purging, the dark nights of the soul, 2 of which I have had now, really significant periods of spiritual awakening, because I had one just at the end of last year as well. And even through all of the pain of that, my life is so much better than what it has ever been. And I can honestly say that actually 3 days into having a cancer diagnosis, I'm feeling really good. I'm feeling really positive. And yes, I can still grieve. You can as well. You can still have your tears. You can still feel a little bit frustrated or a little bit upset. But the challenges and everything that we experience all are here to help maneuver us into something better, if we choose to embrace them, okay? So expect the unexpected is the message from me today. It has been so good to have you here. You can buy my book on Amazon. It's available in hardback, paperback, and it's also on Kindle and on Kindle Unlimited if you are part of that book club, and you can go and you can read it there. Chester is obviously with me all the time. I love him to bits. I know he's not going to be with me permanently necessarily, but I do love him while he's here today and able to share his wisdom. He's just doing a little curtsy and a wave to everybody. It's been amazing having him as part of my journey, and actually the journey itself has been amazing. But I hope that those words have helped you. I hope that it has helped to feel like the things in your life and the challenges that you're experiencing are just that little bit more palatable and purposeful. Okay? So it's happening for you. It's not happening to you. It is happening for you. And try and keep that in mind. And I will keep coming back and recording more content. You can also find me over on Substack, where I write every week. I'm also on Instagram and TikTok as well. And I look forward to seeing you soon.